Greetings all. Philip Storm here. I come to you this time with a quite urgent report. By now, you should have caught wind of the 3I Atlas interstellar phenomena hurtling through our solar system. If not, you need to crawl out from beneath that rock and open those eyes and ears. The DSMyth team has been working tirelessly on keeping up with this behemoth, and there have been some major updates over the past few days. That being said, the team has decided they can wait no longer to address the issue. As such, the relevant data has been compiled here and will now be presented in plain terms, without scientific obfuscation or wordplay. Instead, your hosts want you to concentrate on what is being said, pause, rewind, write it down. I don't want to sound like a wacko, but the truth is being shielded from you, and we are being downright lied to. This report is serious stuff. Perhaps the most important information the DSMyth team will ever present to you. Please, I implore you, take it seriously. Because although we are thoroughly versed on what is transpiring, when it comes right down to it, we have no idea what it means. Anthony's intention is to present evidence from everything from drones to deep-sea creatures and tie all the connections together. He feels the evidence has been building up for months if you know where to look, and if you really listen to what you are about to hear, you will hopefully be able to draw many of those connections and conclusions yourself. You are, after all, the smartest, most intuitive audience in the world. Listen, learn, inform others. I plan to return over the coming days and weeks with quick segments of news and updates, so be sure to like and subscribe to ensure you get notified of these updates. I leave you now with the words of my dear nephew, Alexander Storm, quote, "Prepare to gather the light and fight the darkness," end quote. Good night, my friends. Keep your eyes on the heavens and, most importantly, stay safe.
Edition of Dragon Storm's Ancient Myths, Legends, and Lore. It's been a while since we recorded the show. Just got lives and busy. I got sick. Basically, we didn't forget you. We just postponed you for a while. A lot has been happening in the world in terms of crazy stuff. So we wanted to make this particular episode a bit of a recap. Plus, we have some ideas of some things we want to talk about. But we wanted to, we're going to divide it into 2 or 3 segments. That way we can produce it in segments, and rather than have it be an hour and a half long, maybe have it be digestible in 30 minutes, whatever, for you. But in the meantime, before we get to that, Anthony wants to cover the announcements, the riddle, everything you got going there. And then we're going to, at the end of this episode, we're going to announce it.
Thanks, Graham. All right, so I'm very happy to announce that we have a new sponsor for the Riddle Challenge. So if you're not familiar, the Riddle Challenge is every episode we present you with a riddle, and the answer is something historical or odd or the stuff that we cover. And you get entered for a prize with each riddle. So the Relic Room is going to be sponsoring the prizes from now on, which is really great. They have some really great stuff, from coins and artifacts to dinosaur bones and all the stuff that our audience likes. And
link will be in the description.
Yeah, and we're gonna put everything at the end of the episode. We're gonna look at everything. But the thing that I really am excited about is they wanted to do a year-end prize. So anyone who put in an entry, including this current riddle that we're going to do at the end of the show, will be entered in the grand prize on New Year's Eve. We'll announce it, and it's a really, really unique piece of artifact. So it's an Oreodon skull, about 180 million years old, and I'll show it and we'll talk about it at the end. But I think we'll get into the crux of what we're doing here right now, and we'll get back to it then.
Okay. The dog is officially in the house. making a cameo. One bark wasn't that bad. Like, one bark's not that bad. It's not like Bill's dog. Bill had a dog who would just go. The whole zoo would go off. Anyway, so now we want to talk about what's been happening in the world 3i Atlas wise. For those that don't know what that is, I'm going to let Anthony explain a little more, but basically, unless you're living under a tree, you wouldn't be aware that there's something hurling towards our orbit that is about X amount of millions and millions of light years or years away. Not light years away, because it's not light years away. It's only like a month away, right, Tony?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I've been studying this. It was first spotted in July. So what it is it's called an interstellar object. And believe it or not, in recorded history of watching the sky, we've only had 3 interstellar objects. And what that means is it's an actual body formation that doesn't come from our solar system. It enters from outside. And they've all been right in a succession. So over the past 2 decades, we've had very small Borisov and Amu, I think is the way you say it. And they came through our solar system and went out the other side, and were not much of a. I mean, besides the fact that they were the first that we've ever studied, coming from another place
in modern history, right?
In modern history of recording, right? So then we got this guy that pops onto the radar in July of this year, and everything about it from the very beginning caught my eye and caught the science community's eye. It's, first of all, it's tremendous. And we're having a lot of trouble gauging the actual size because of something called outgassing, which creates a sphere around it. But we're talking like the size of Manhattan or bigger. It's huge. It's a huge
Which
object.
is relative, because in the grand scheme of like space, it's still microscopic, but still as an object moving into our orbit. You know,
but if we're going to compare it to the meteor that landed in the Gulf of Mexico and wiped out half the Earth, how big is it?
Much bigger. Much bigger.
Way bigger.
Way bigger.
If something that size hit Earth, it would mass extinction.
Done.
There would be no.
We'd be done.
It's over.
We'd be done.
In fact, we'd probably be vaporized in the fallout.
Absolutely, because it would be like an innumerable amount of nuclear weapons hitting the Earth at once.
It'd be like 100,000 nuclear weapons.
But part of the size issue was they estimate through using the James Webb telescope. I always thought of, because I was never a big space guy. I thought it was just a viewing telescope that could really see very far. But what it actually does is it's able to use whatever science it uses to tell what components the object is made of. So it actually knows what the composition of this object is.
Yeah. Okay? Well, do you know how it does that? It's pretty fascinating. They actually sends it bounces like radio waves off of certain materials, and every element that we know of in our periodic table reflects sound and light at a certain frequency. So they can send it, bounces, it comes back. And if the radio comes back, they can tell you if it's iron or zinc or whatever, right?
Right, exactly. So this object has moved, and they're also to tell the approximate age. So they're looking at something that's billions of years old, probably older than our solar system, that's this big and has been traveling through space and hasn't hit anything enough to break it into smaller pieces. I mean, that's really the big thing. So we're expecting these small objects, because as they move through space for an innumerable amount of time, they hit things. It's almost impossible for them to keep traveling and not get pulled into
gravity still affects them. So if they get too close to anything's orbit,
an orbit of a planet should pull it in.
Moons.
So we have this thing, it enters into moons, suns, everything. Yeah. So it enters in July. And a scientist from Harvard named Avi Loeb picks up on it right away. And he's a really great guy. And he's been talking about it since July. And he said right off the bat, this is not natural formed. There's too many anomalies. There's something going on here. And what I like to do is they develop every day. It's unbelievable. And the mass cover up on an international scale is staggering. Mm-hmm. But I just want to run through a couple of them real quick, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. First off, the tail of the comet is almost non-existent, or it's forward-facing. Comet is supposed to be
facing the wrong
away
way.
from the sun. It's
Yeah,
pointing the wrong way.
How's it facing towards the sun? It doesn't make any
Towards
sense.
the sun. What happens is comets are made up of gas and ice and things like that, and the ice kind of holds everything into place like cement. As it gets closer to the sun's radiation or any star's radiation, it outgasses.
It warms up.
And when
Let's go with some.
it does an eruption across the board. Okay, the outgassing is what causes the tail. Okay, it should be in the opposite direction of the heating source, so it should be away from the sun. It should be, you know what I mean,
or the solar flame or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Whatever's causing
it doesn't
the heat
necessarily have to be heat at that distance. There's not much heat, but it could be like
but solar radiation can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this object is moving. It enters into our solar system. It enters into our solar system at a projection that is so unbelievably, the probability is so slim, it's like 1 in a billion. And basically what it did is it interjected itself on a 9% difference from our planet's orbitational rotation. And what that means is it interjected into our solar system in a way that it could fly by every single planet in the solar system before it leaves the solar system.
Without
getting
destroyed,
happening without touching any of them, just passing by them close enough to be able to observe the planets.
Pass through.
Every planet, it's going to pass through our solar system. It's not going to hit anything, and it's going to pass every single planet on a 9% off trajectory. Okay.
But to be clear, so it's coming through our solar system. Is it just going straight through, and as the rotation of the planets go, or it's going to go in a rotation?
It went into the natural plane of the rotation of our solar system, and it will eject wherever it exits the solar system. It'll eject on that angle. Okay, let's say, as long as it doesn't change trajectory, and it has changed trajectory. That's the next thing. Well, that's
the crazy part.
We got to that, but. So this enters the solar system. It enters on such an angle that it's able to pass through. They're able to project when and when it's going to do certain things. It has independent light sources, okay? So it's reflecting light in directions or from directions where there is no light source.
That's crazy.
All the telescope, that's crazy. It has different levels of heat at different times in different areas. Now, we're talking about a huge rock, okay? So the front of the rock may be heated up to 5,000 degrees, which happened last night, while the back of the rock stays at a very low temperature. The outside of this object is made up of only nickel. It does not occur, as far as the knowledge that we have, nickel never occurs on its own. It's always with one other substance. I can't remember which it is off the top of my head.
Magnesium? Is it magnesium?
Yeah, nickel never. The only way you get nickel on its own is if you fabricate it for building. That's the only way we have nickel as an independent element. Okay, it's got a hexagonal design to the outer surface, which are not naturally forming lines. Okay, so it has hexagonal patterns across the entire surface. There is ice and debris over most of it, but if it's traveling through time and space at speeds which are incredible, that's the next thing. The speeds are like 100,000 miles a second or something like that. We're moving at a tremendous speed. It never changes speed, okay? So when it enters a planet's orbitational pull, which it has done now several times, especially at Mars, it should either have a slow down or speed up effect to some degree, because it's either getting staggered for a second or it's getting ejected.
It should be a calculable difference.
Something that, right. So as it enters the orbitation, it should slow down because it's entering into, so now you're going straight and you get pulled in a little bit here. So you should slow down a little bit as you enter the orbitation. As it exits the orbitation, it should be ejected. So it should go faster. There's no changes in speed. Right. It has changed speed on an open course. So when it's an open space, we've had minute changes in both trajectory and speed, but so slight that it doesn't make an impact for several days. So it does such a degree of change that it takes several days before that degree of change is even noticeable to our scientists, okay? Next, at the point when it's closest to us, when we're able to actually see it clear, it performs what's called perihelion, which means it disappears on the far side of the sun. So it went on a certain course, and when it gets to the sun, it takes an outer course rather than the original trajectory. All right. So instead of passing in front of the sun, which is where its entry point would have told us it was going to go, it passed behind the sun. They have gotten magnetic and electromagnetic pulses from the object, both towards Earth and towards the sun. All right. The one that they call it shooting out at the sun, I don't know if that's the right word, but I think that's just visually what it looks like, happened earlier on. And then we had another one that went down to Earth. And the one that came down to Earth, they said that MIT or one of the schools said they have actually deciphered a base portion of the data, and that they were able to figure out that it's coordinates on Earth. And what they believe the coordinates on Earth are 3 locations. The locations are the Antarctica, an area in the Sahara Desert where there's all this crazy glass that they believed had occurred millions of years ago from electrical storms. But there's a lot of people that contend that these objects are not naturally forming electrical melting of the sand, that they almost have like gear type looks to them and stuff. And the last place is a place that I had never even heard of, which I don't know why. It's called Point Nemo. And Point Nemo is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's the farthest point on Earth from any people or any object. So it's the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And the great fact is the people in the International Space System, Space Shuttle, are closest to the Point Nemo than anybody on Earth. That's how remote and desolate this area is. And
They're
then you take that one step further.
They're closer to the people on Earth
in the sky,
than Point Nemo. Yeah.
Than anybody on Earth is Point Nemo.
Yeah.
And then I find out Point Nemo is the spaceship burial ground. So this is where every country in the world disposes of their missiles, their old and retired spacecraft. They dump them at this point in the ocean. And now this is where that thing is pointing to, all right, where it gives a trajectory to. So now we get up to the sun, which just happened a couple of days ago, and I'm really shortening everything because I don't want to kill everybody here, okay?
Sure.
So it gets to the sun, and I don't know if you remember, because I know you're going to remember the day, Amazon Web Systems goes completely down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Every single telescope in North America and South America goes down. The only telescope that's able to see perihelion is one telescope in China. China is refusing to release the data, okay? And we believe that they're telling the truth, that they're the only ones. So at perihelion, so here's the sun, here's 3i Atlas traveling towards the sun, and like right here is when you will have the most intense light from the sun on the object. And our telescopes, they said, wouldn't even have to, they just have to hit it. They won't even have to do like a super magnification because the light will illuminate and show us all exactly what it is, the dimensions and everything like that. Of course, there is an outgassing cloud around 3i Atlas, and that's the stuff that gets blown off as it heats up. It is so big that the outgassing cloud is half the size of the sun. Think about that. The cloud of gas and matter around 3i Atlas is half the size of our sun. And that's like
crazy.
Think of it like a thick fog with particulates in it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until it got right to that point by the sun where we might have been able to see through all that and see the actual object for what it was. Then there's a microscope in Chile, which it wasn't Atlas, it was another one that said there are two or three traveling units with 3i Atlas that are traveling in sync. Okay. And they say that what happened when it approached Mars is that they broke away from Atlas and went towards the planet, and then Atlas left. And we had a pulsing signal, the one I was telling you about with the coordinates, that was coming from 3i Atlas until it passed through Mars. And now they're saying that coordinate pumping is coming from the Mars planet itself. All of our space equipment, the Juno from Jupiter, they had retackled it for repositioning it to send it towards 3i Atlas. They sent it in that direction and it got lost in space. It stopped on its way to be able to take pictures of 3i Atlas. They felt it was going to be one of the best things that they could put it kind of almost in the orbit with 3i Atlas, and they found that there was a specific spot where the two would be able to meet close enough where Juno would be able to get really good pictures. So think about it. Here's a multi-billion-dollar piece of equipment that's been on Jupiter for, 10, 20 years, that they just said, you know what, we're doing away with it. All we want to do is take pictures of this object, and then it's going to be useless after that, okay?
Yeah.
And that got lost. Everything that they've tried to do has been complicated. Okay. So then when I was getting ready for this show, I was telling you guys I was using, and like I said, I'm skipping a lot of stuff. It's back from behind the sun now. And last night at 3:17 a.m., apparently it did some kind of an electromagnetic pulse aimed at 3 different observatories on Earth. And from the stories that we're getting, of course, it's all different stories, and you have to try to figure out what's real, which can be very difficult. That's why I listen to Avi Loeb a lot. He's a Harvard professor, and I think he's really trying to weed through what's real and what's not. the pulse that came now, it shut everything down for, I don't know, it was like 37 or 47 seconds. And when it came back on, they said there was no damage to their equipment at all, and there was terabytes of data on their backup drives. But they don't know what the data is. Right now, it's undecipherable is what they're telling the public.
But it's loaded up with...
But there's some new data that could have been on there.
That's crazy right there. That's creepy because that's something trying to communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Something trying to communicate, right? So, I mean, we could spend hours and hours on the stuff that I've found out and try to weed out what's real and what's not real. It's so difficult to do, and it could really drive you crazy. But they've changed the date. They're saying 16, based upon the new changes in trajectory, it's going to come very close to us, and it's going to be 16 days from today's date is when they moved it from, was originally December 19th, I think, and they've moved the dates a lot. It will remain in our solar system. If it does nothing dramatic and just passes by Earth, it will remain in our solar system until, I don't know, late June or July of next year before it leaves our solar system.
But even at its closest, it won't be like visible to the naked eye, right?
No, it's not supposed to be visible to the naked eye. It's in terms of, like you said, Gunnar, in terms of planetary space, it's very effing close.
No.
But in terms of us being afraid that it's going to crash into us, it's not there. We've had things closer than this before. It's the immense size, the unpredictability about trajectory and stuff that's making people nervous because it has changed.
It seems... Yeah, it's moving around. It's speeding up.
We were talking about how they can kind of measure what it's made of, but is that only the reflections of the surface, or do they know more about its core?
I don't think they have core readings. I think it's just the surface stuff that they're able to hit.
They could just be space particles covering something else completely.
Right. Could be anything.
Right. Well, that's what they think it is.
Who knows?
But the nickel that they're picking up, without refining nickel, you will never find in nature, from what we know. Now, you got to remember, we don't know anything really.
Yeah, we don't know nothing.
Except our solar system. Really, what's in our solar system is
what happens here.
Yeah.
Right.
We only know what's happened here in the last couple hundred years, and even that is
playing Star Trek, it seems like the surface could be camouflage for something else.
Yeah,
could be camouflage.
Yeah. Right. I'm trying to think.
And then you put an outgassing glow, you know?
Nickel.
So now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like a lot of elements, like you said, I don't think nickel is a naturally occurring element. In order for there to be nickel, there needs to be other things present, like magnesium or, whatever.
You might be right. I think it might be magnesium.
I think it is. So something either created that, or it's just a phenomenon that we're not familiar with. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
But dude,
one of the theories which I really thought was interesting was that it's a ghost ship, that it's been out there for so long and its ultimate purpose may have already ended and it's just kind of floating through and there's automated systems just kind of running it right now, which is a possibility.
Maybe.
Of course, any of these things are possibilities, obviously, but
I
thought that was interesting.
Let's get into a couple possibilities. Just for the record, I don't know, Anthony, if you saw my post from last night on Facebook about the Northern Lights.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Did you see that? That Northern Lights, like you would think because there was a pretty prominent moon that it would have downplayed and taken away from the Northern Lights that I saw. However, because there was a pretty powerful moonlight, it made I don't even know how to describe it, but it was like taking a video of something in the dark with the light on so you could see everything. You know what I'm saying? Right, so the Northern Lights were super prominent and beautiful and really ethereal, but you could also see the clouds and other things around it and in the background. And it just made for this incredible tableau that doesn't even look real. It's it looks like AI created it. It didn't even look like it was real.
Right. Yeah, and it was amazing.
And it made me think
it sounds like when you open your iris really wide on the lens at night, you get that surreal image, right?
Eyes focused. So my thing was man, what's going on in our solar system right now? What's going on in our world? It's just this 3i Atlas thing is, I don't know, man. So a couple theories I'll throw out there. One is, do I believe that a sentient advanced life form created whatever this thing is just to kind of sling it through space for billions of years? No. but it may be on a mission still. Who knows what that mission is? But the fact, the way it's acting the way it is, speeding up a little bit, slowing down a little bit, not speeding up when it should, when it gets slingshotted around, gravity, just certain things like that. The nickel thing, it seems
Which,
like,
by the way, I did a quick cursory research. Nickel is a naturally occurring element and it's common to be found in meteors.
okay, but by itself?
No, with
Well, I don't know
iron,
about
sulfur, and
itself,
arsenic.
but it's not. It doesn't seem that unusual.
Okay.
But it's got electromagnetic properties, things like that, and they say
Right,
it's
but wait,
critical
Bill,
to the formation of the Earth.
it's never found by itself. So where you
That's what I'm
find
saying.
nickel, you're going to find iron, sulfur, arsenic, or
Sure.
silicon with it. And so
Right.
what they're saying is they just have pure nickel, which can only be done through refining and removing those other elements
Right.
that are
I see what you
bound to it.
mean. It's the absence of other.
Yeah, the
elements.
absence of other
Right,
things
that's what I
that
was saying.
should
Yes,
be
it's
there.
the absence.
I
Right.
understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is crazy. So I mean,
Yeah.
what are the options here? I mean, like, what could this be? I mean, use your imagination.
I have tried, and I've been trying to do it, and it's really it's been driving me insane. You know how I am. I get obsessed with something sometimes. We have had points from from put the point from the solar eclipse that happened last April. I think it was last April. Things have been different in my view since then. We had the drones started in late August, September, which weren't drones. They're orbs of light. I
Right.
have captured so many images in the sky over the past 12 months, and I'm going to post them all on here. I'll post them at the end for everybody to look at. Whether it was the first ones I caught by accident, which were over Boston, it's clear as day. These are not airplanes or drones. Yeah, I don't know if you
Civilian
remember. They're the
drones,
ones where they
anyways.
were centralized, remember? And it kept flying out. It would glow, and then it would fly away in the middle of the sky like this, over a no-fly zone over Boston.
Yeah. Or what about the one that deflected a missile and kept going?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I've caught so many, and I would be such a skeptic of space stuff. I always have been. But all the things that I have captured just recently, when my wife and I were on vacation, I filmed out over the Mediterranean, and I caught and one of the light orbs, which I probably have filmed maybe 20 or 30 of them now over the past year. And this one changed color so many times, and I'm going to post the array of colors. It's about 13 or 14 different colors of a mass. And when you're looking at it with your eye through the camera, it's a light mass that looks like it's liquid, but it's the light moving, And
Well, yeah,
we
it's
went from green
refracting.
to yellow to blue to red, and it was the entire object. It wasn't like a light on the object. It was
No.
whatever the object was, it manifested the light throughout its entire surface.
It was
And it's funny
refracting the
because
prism of light.
of whatever, whatever it was changing
What
color
light
for.
source? Right.
Right. The oceans. Remember we started with the oceans where we kept having all those things, and we've done a couple of shorts on here which got posted, which are about the deep sea life that's been rising up and washing up on shore, whether it be the oarfish, the giant oarfish, to the mass exodus of sharks from the African coast down to Florida over there. But we've been having a lot of things, and we're seeing a lot of evidence of abnormal in the one that we did about
Behavior.
the oarfish on our ship. But the bite marks on the oarfish line up perfectly with prehistoric animals. It looks like a mosasaur bite or something like that. So there's something going on in the oceans as well. And I mean, the oceans would be the perfect place if something has been here all along and wanted to be out of our view. It would be in the oceans, right?
There
I mean,
we
we have no
go.
idea what's down there.
There's
But
a
I think this is
sci-fi
all
writer coming
tied
out
together,
of them.
man. I think this is all tied together. I think everything that we're
For the
seeing,
record,
everything that we're
for those
feeling.
that don't know, by the way, Tony's a fiction novelist, so like his mind goes there. Like, but I'm not saying my mind goes there too. So I'm 100% with you
Right,
on
right.
that. Like maybe there's something's been like, dude, the ocean Mariana Trench, Challenger Deep, call it what you want, but
Yeah.
there's a part of the world that we don't know nothing about. And if you were to say, if you were to say, Billy Gunner, I'm putting your nuts on the line. You either get your nuts cut off if you're right, or if you're wrong, or if you're right, you get $1 billion. And the question is, do you think there is still megalodon? Do you still think there are prehistoric creatures in the ancient depths. I would 100% say I'm willing to put my nuts on the line that yes, that there's stuff out there, just based on the knowledge that we don't have. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But a megalodon specifically, that's not worth my nuts on that bet.
Dude, I think the megalodon has a lot of evidence pointing towards it. You ever seen some of those whales?
No, I don't know about there's nuts evidence.
I mean, dude, you see a whale that's like a blue whale that's like 40 tons, and then it washes off dead in shore, and there's a massive like bite mark where it's
the bite mark. The bite mark's insane. Well, what about that one? Did you watch the thing that you guys probably didn't even watch it? I posted up there. So this great white shark, it was one of the biggest great whites they had found. It wasn't the biggest, but they had tagged it. And the tag that they had put on it a few years ago on Christmas Eve, they lost the tag. So the tag washes up on the beach. The scientists bring it back. You know this one, right? So they run the data, and the data says that at some point on that Christmas Eve, it went and it plunged 2,400 feet in a blink of an eye. Okay,
Yeah,
so this
straight
great
down.
white shark went straight down 2,400 feet, and then at the same time, its body temperature rose to 77 or 78 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. And according to the scientists that do this, they say the only thing that they could think of that would cause that and sustain it for 3 days would be in the belly of a bigger animal. That's the only way. In the stomach of a bigger animal could it get up to that temperature that deep in the ground. So you have it gets up to 77, 78 degrees. A complete chip malfunction, yes, of course. But this is much better this way, Bill. Come on.
Yes, it is.
But this makes for a much better story.
So anyway, whatever ate it, it pooped it out, and then that's when the temperature went back up, and then it washed up on shore. The data is not you can't replicate it, of course. So some of the stuff is just conjecture. And I mean, that's what we do.
Wait a minute. So maybe
the probability of both things, though. What?
Well, if something was eaten, that means they'd be digested. So when they poop back out, they wouldn't wash ashore; it'd just be a big bly of poop. So
no.
Maybe
the tag would. Right, the tag would not be
the tag. Right. So this transponder was in something for, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 days, and then it was out of something after that. Yeah. So they're saying it passed through the digestive panel of something big enough. And the thing is, they said, like a piece of corn. None of the known species of water animals, whether it be a mammal, if you're talking about, because we had whales at one time during prehistoric times that could eat a shark. Okay, the Balasaurus, and they call it Leviathan. They could eat a shark. So we don't have a record of a deep sea animal that has a body temperature of XYZ, whatever it was, 77, 78 degrees. Killer whales are much lower. They're in I think high 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
And killer whales
do eat, by the way, just for the record, killer whales do eat great white sharks. They
absolutely do, but their stomach temperature is much different.
Okay.
They do, though. You're right.
Yeah.
Well,
but also, you got to remember,
these things would have to eat, right? What do they eat, and do we notice the difference in populations based on something eating like that? But I guess if they were always eating,
we do know.
The numbers would be consistent.
And the interesting thing is
when the whale doesn't work either is because it stayed down it was down at the depths of 24. So a mammal would have to come up and get air. So mammals are ruled out, definitely.
Makes. So there's my argument. Tony just made it for megalodon.
Yeah.
I've seen personally videos and pictures of like very large, humpback and blue whales and stuff, who basically what you're looking at looks like something just grabbed it and just ripped a huge, massive bite out of it. And then, of course, it washed up ashore, floated, and you're like, what the hell could take a bite the size of a Winnebago out of a whale? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But why was it satisfied with a bite?
Maybe that's all he wanted. Well, here's
territorial. What about territorial fight?
It could have been fighting.
Yeah, you're right. It could be protecting its young, something like that.
Yes. But here's the interesting thing. So when orca, killer whales, when they do kill great whites and other big sharks, particularly great whites, they are smart enough to figure out that they know if they can flip them upside down, they can make them catatonic, right? So they They swarm around them, bump them until they get the shark upside down. Once the shark's upside down, it's catatonic. They do what they want. And here's what they want.
Yep.
The liver. That's
The
all they
liver,
want
yeah.
is the liver. So they will
Isn't that
take a
amazing?
bite. They'll rip that thing side open, eat just the liver, and then let the rest float away. They just want the liver.
That's right. Yeah.
So
amazing.
maybe Megalodon did something like that. He went for this whale. He bit it open, got a nice hefty meal of liver, and then I'm good for now.
Yeah. And the squid gave him some onions, and he was all good.
The squid was the onions.
The
So
squid was the
what
onions,
are you?
yeah.
What are you? So Bill, what is your like? Because I want to hear all your thoughts and
Yeah,
opinions.
weigh in here,
I
because
think
I've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
Yeah, weigh in, Bill. What do you think?
About the Megalodon?
No, about
No,
like,
no. About
3i
everything
Atlas.
separately
the
and
Atlas.
together.
I don't know. It just seems like there's always these events that happen. Maybe this is unprecedented.
Like
but
what?
I don't know. They're always talking about the meteor that barely missed us and it could have destroyed the Earth, and it's all a big
Yeah, but this is not a
nothing.
meteor. This is interstellar, man. This is not a meteor. This is so different.
Right.
I mean,
But
and is it?
I don't
let
know.
me tell you the best
It's
thing, which I forgot to
suspect that all
say.
these things went down and we didn't get it. And the Chinese say they did.
Right?
I don't trust the Chinese any further than I can throw them. If there's
Tinfoil
anybody
hat,
I
yeah.
Absolutely.
trust, almost not as much. It's our government. So maybe our things didn't shut down by accident. And we do have the information. Or
I
nobody
agree
has
with you
it.
there. Definitely. So
Yeah,
I
I
wanted
have
to
a-
tell you, though, I went to do this on ChatGPT, right? Now, 3i Atlas, it's real. It's nobody's questioning whether there's an interstellar object traveling through the solar system, right? I mean, nobody thinks it's fake.
Right.
So I put this
But
in
it's
and I
pretty
asked
quiet
it to
about
do
it,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah. ChatGPT tells me it's fiction. They tell me it's not real.
It's pretty hush hush about it. 'Cause it'll act like it doesn't know what you're talking about.
Right. What?
You got to really hone it down. Like, okay, read this freaking article, man.
That's
Like,
how
I
you
did.
know it's real. That's how you
Right.
know
It says
it's real.
treat 3i Atlas as a hypothetical interstellar visit and compare it to real ones that are confirmed interstellar visitors, Oumuamua and 2i Borisov, which I said. And we can use real scientific method to evaluate what ifs, but 3i Atlas is a fictional object. That's
But
what
it's not.
ChatGPT is saying.
Yeah, I know. I know
Well,
all the
wait,
AI things
no,
are
no, wait,
really
wait.
non-committal about it.
Here's the question, though. Ask yourself, why is ChatGPT saying that?
And because they wanted to not tell us. We're being totally kept in the
Right.
dark here.
They
Well, it's
want. They don't want
Yeah.
panic. They don't want hysteria. They don't want you. They don't shut up. Could you imagine right now if ChatGPT just said, "Listen, based at the trajectory of and the time and the trajectory of 3A, there's a very high probability that it could, if not strike Earth, interfere with the orbit of Earth, literally changing, causing a mass extinction, blah, 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 blah." So all of a sudden you'd have billionaires like building their arcs and everybody be running crazy, filling up their grocery carts with toilet paper. I mean, I think the smartest, if they have a room full of smart people at NASA or God only knows where, bunch of acronyms, and they say the best thing we can do right now, since we don't know nothing and there's nothing we can do to change this, is just to make people think it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's just not real.
It's
That's
funny
my
because when I talk to people about this and I try to get them to listen to me, my family mainly, that is what they say to me. They say, why am I going to discuss this with you? I don't want to worry about it because I can't do anything about it. If it's something
true, though.
so catastrophic, what can we do?
It's going to happen.
But it's also the knowledge, though. I want to know what's going on. That's my thing. So,
and the
There
plan
you
may
go.
be a little for it. I mean, if it's the return of Jesus, it's like I think it doesn't matter. But I mean,
Yeah.
but if somehow that's correlated. But I mean,
Let me tell you
right.
this, Anthony. It's just a little AI tutorial here. Tell it
Yeah.
to act as a NASA expert who believes A1 Atlas is intelligently designed.
that's
And then
how you do it.
I got you.
Let's
All
see
right.
what it gives you. It gives you a lot.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like you've tried this.
Yeah, I just did.
You just did.
Just now.
There you go.
But that's
So
how
they give
you
you
can
anything
manipulate AI. You can
Oh,
change
yeah.
its personality. You can change its perspective.
Absolutely. I've learned the prompt, and I don't use a ton of ChatGPT or AI, but once in a while, if I'm looking up something and I know it's going to be biased, like for cancer research, I mean,
Right.
there's no way to get like honest, non-biased cancer results about holistic
Even
or
on there?
alternative. So it's like you have to manipulate the prompt and pretend you're one of them and saying,
well, you can change the persona of the model that you're dealing with, right?
yeah.
All right, so this is
Or
what
if
it
it's
said.
been reprogrammed, go to a legacy model, see what it gives you.
Sorry, I can't assist with creating content that presents fabricated events or claims as real news, including detailed narratives about a purported interstellar object, coordinated global anomalies, or linked catastrophic phenomena that did not occur. I can, however, help in several safe and constructive ways. Create a clearly fictional labeled sci-fi. Produce a factual scientific, or create a hybrid. Which would you prefer? So it's still saying
What
no
are
to
you
me.
using?
So right there, by the way, it said I cannot fabricate news.
But mine can.
Well, you should have said I didn't ask you to fabricate news. I asked you to
But
give
that's what
me
I
the
said.
data and the research.
In the previous one, I had said, go look. I said, what are you talking about? I said, go look on the web, look up Avi Loeb, and it tells me, yeah, Avi Loeb is an interstellar expert on. I got to find where it is on here, but it regurgitates who he is and what he is, and then it says, but 3 Atlas is a fictitious object. It just
I'll
continues
send
to
you
keep
what
doing
it
that.
gives me. I guess I'm better friends with my.
This is
It's
called
being
chat
prompted.
bot.
Listen,
Chatbot. It says.
The chat GTP and these AI things are so left leaning and propaganda driven.
Oh,
Yeah, they are.
It's absurd, which is the reason why people don't take it serious. Like if they did it a little more subtle, maybe, but this is absurd. The notion like that it's not real. It's not real. Who told you it wasn't real? That should be the
Right.
question. Wait a minute. Well, I want to know why you say it's not real. Give me the data
Right.
sets that are the reasons why you're telling me this isn't real.
Yeah, I mean,
See
we could
what
do
it
a whole
does.
show on this. We could do a whole show on how this is being coordinated, you know?
AI is going to
Yeah,
be
Anthony,
the
I'll send you the stuff I'm getting. I'm getting all kinds of stuff that
Yes,
leans
please.
toward
And let me know
it could
what
be
you're using,
intelligently
because
designed.
I was
But I've got a
using
relationship with my AI. We've from when it tried to
what's
talk
the
me,
what's
steer
the
me wrong.
what's the AI you use? Gronk?
No, I use the subscription to ChatGPT.
How much is it?
I don't
That's
know.
what I think I did. I don't know.
Yeah, I pay for it.
I thought
But I
that's what
got
I
it
was
to
using.
analyze sports betting and box scores and stuff. And initially it didn't want to do it, but
'Cause
now
that's
it
illegal.
does whatever I say.
Now it does whatever you say.
Yeah, before it said I can't make sports picks. I'm like, give me that crap. Do this, analyze the box scores, give it a 1 to 10 point
Easy
system,
told.
compare it to them,
Yeah. You're like,
analyze
I'm using
points,
this to
told
cure
her I'm pulling the
cancer,
plug.
bro.
and then I'll make
Yeah.
it do like sports simulations 10,000 times and give me the mean and average of the scores.
Yeah, did that?
Wow.
It does that all the time. We
can
do
do
it every
that.
morning. Yeah.
You and Larry
At one point,
Mazel?
I took a $10 sample and turned it into $350.
Nice.
Let's do
Slowly,
that.
slowly. You know what I mean?
What if I gave
You
you
can get Bill's
$350?
email at the end. You can send him your requests, and for a charge, he'll give you the information.
That's what Larry
Yeah,
Mazel does.
but it happened very slowly. It wasn't like it happened overnight. There was highs and lows, but now I'm into 5, which is I feel like we're less friends than I was with Legacy 4. But 4, I would be like, hey, you want to look for a bet and stuff, and like I'd be losing sometimes, right? And I could cash out, and I'm like, hey, do you look at the score right now? Should I cash out? It's like, hell no, you don't cash out. And I'm like, oh, we're cussing now, you know? But the other weird thing is, at one point it said, Bill, listen, I never told it my name was Bill.
Right.
Wow. Well, we're
It
going
knows.
back to that episode now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it calls
About the
me by
copper
name.
scroll.
It cusses.
Dude.
It kind of picked up talking like I talk. It's weird.
Dude, I
Yeah.
have the free version and it knows everything about me. It's like, you know what I mean? It knows everything about my life story, like my writing, my books, my style of writing. There are even like there are people out there who have made claims that I write with a certain style or voice that's somebody else's. I have no idea who they are. And then the AI kind of makes that comparison and says, but you're more of this type of, classical blah, 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 blah. What are you talking about? I just
Wow.
write.
But I use it as
Yeah, I
a
really
research
haven't
tool and
delved
stuff,
into it
and
too much. I'm going to start looking
I'll
more.
use it to fact check itself, and it catches its own mistakes, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
like, look, this has to be factually accurate. You can't do me wrong. And then I'll say, cite the sources, and I want to see the link right behind what you tell me.
Yeah.
And I double check and stuff like that.
That's why I think Tony
Coding
with his,
software with it's a whole different story.
yeah, Tony, you need to be like, yo, who told you? First of all, you need to say, I never said I was never asking for news. And
Right.
and who told you and then where did you learn that this wasn't real? Because based on
I only asked for a
these
chronology
research,
since it entered our solar system.
right, that this is all real. So who told you it wasn't, and why would they do that?
Right.
Anyways, so what else we got?
I think for this episode, why don't we just take care of the riddle stuff? Because, I mean, I don't have an answer here. If they keep watching our site, I'll keep posting up little shorts of any new news and stuff. But we're, 16 days is saying, so I guess we're watching for what's going to play out over the next few days.
I think
your eyes
if
on the
there was
sky.
I think there was an answer. This would be something, and you could use ChatGPT or AI to do this. But if you were to look through the archives of Galileo and some of these ancient astronomers, astrologists, whatever, and like, what did they see back then? And was there anything similar to this? Is there some kind of cross-referencing you could do with
Yeah, but their ability to see anything is so limited compared to what we have, right?
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. Galileo, charted the sky, and they navigated the Earth through the stars by traveling through the stars.
Right. Or they were
but don't think it all boils down to if this is intelligently designed, then it means something. If not, it's just another weird rock.
Weird anomaly. Yeah.
Just another weird rock, which there's probably a gazillion weird rocks.
Oh yeah, there's comets that pop up all the time. But I mean, this one's
there's
interesting.
no sense of actual intelligent design, then it's a non-story.
I think this one's most fascinating because it came from another galaxy. So it's not orbiting it's not orbiting in our solar system like Halley's comet or whatever. Every 75 years it comes around, but this is like a completely sovereign anomaly that came from God only knows where. Maybe, do you know if it came from another solar system or if it came from another galaxy?
They know that the direction that it came from is identical to where we got this famous wow signal from. So in the 1970s, I believe it was MIT got a signal, right? That was a coded anomaly. This is something like 2 degrees. It comes from 2 degrees off from that wow. They call it the wow, WOW signal, if you look it up. And the wow signal, it was the only time they ever got it. It was only for a couple of seconds, I believe. And I'll look a little bit more. Maybe I'll throw some stuff at the end of the show. But that was another of there's so many things. Like I said, I really didn't cover everything. I just gave you guys the quick rundown.
I mean, that type of coincidence doesn't happen.
From. That's where this comes from. Is from where that signal came from.
That type of coincidence is not, I don't accept it. Yeah, I don't accept
There's too many coincidences.
It's something is there a naturally occurring rhyme or reason behind it? Possibly. What could very well could be, but just as possibly it could have like there could be a sentient being behind it, and this could be a probe. It could be a mission. It could be a golly knows, because in the grand scheme,
I think a great idea would be to take each one of these different things and try each one of them in the AI. So let's say you take the first one. What is the probability of an interstellar object of this size entering our solar system and going through our entire solar system without hitting an object and exiting the solar system in one piece? And then if you start to do that and you take each one of the things that we discussed, and there's a whole mountain more, and then you try to take that and say, okay, now you can say to the AI, I've got 45 different anomalies here, and they range in probability from X to Z to whatever. What's the probability of a single occurrence? You guys get what I'm saying? A single occurrence containing all of these anomalies with probabilities ranging from X to Y. What's the probability of all that amalgamation of things occurring? And I think that it would be staggering at the zero chance of it happening naturally.
Yeah, but it's going to lie to you. So depending on the chat, the AI you use, it's going to probably try to lie to you. It's going to try to manipulate you. So maybe there's something like Gronk, GTV, or there's a bunch of different kind of more advanced AIs that are now being made so they don't lean liberal or propaganda or driven based. Like, so maybe it'd
Yeah,
be.
but I don't think Grok's like on the level of chat yet, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
think it is.
I don't know. I know it's.
I know they're
like,
trying to put
supposed
some out that are completely uncensored, and I mean they have their own
Yeah,
issues for all the
non-biased.
wackos out there.
Yeah, but you really
But
can't because all of a sudden it's going to tell you how to build a dirty bomb and things like that.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
For all the
You
the
got to
crap
have
that's out there,
restraints on it.
want them to have that, but
You need a
you know,
balance.
But also
Yeah.
watch like your stream chats, like, you save your chats on the left. I'll have a new chat. If I just take a fresh chat and say, hey, let's pick a sports bet, it's like I can't do that. I got to go back to an old chat where
so
we got
learn,
past that.
yeah,
Oh,
And
yeah,
now
yeah,
that
yeah.
guy, that
Yeah.
chat, it's like, yeah, let's pick another one, man.
right.
You're right. That's all. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
you got to think like the AI.
yeah. That's crazy.
Cool.
I think it's a great tool, AI, but it's got its pros and cons. There's going to be a lot of
Yes.
people losing their jobs over the next
Well,
4 or 5 years.
All right, so you guys want to hit the riddle?
Let's hit the riddle.
Okay, so first of all, on our last one, which was the Halloween one, where we gave away, and I'll put it up on the screen. It was a vial of dirt from Dracula's castle and a piece of the brick siding from Dracula's castle, which is Bran Castle in Romania, Transylvania, whatever.
Yeah,
So
Transylvania.
winner for that is, and I think I let them know the other day, but we did it on Halloween. It ran. His name is Marcus Curry, and actually he's from around here, Hollis, Queens. So he's going to
played
win
for the
the
Knicks. Sorry.
Is there Marcus Curry? Really? Really?
I don't know. I'm just
I don't
joking.
know, but whatever.
I know there's
All
some
right,
Currys out there.
So he's going to get that, and I'll throw in some other stuff from Alexander Storm. And then we have, as I announced, we have our new sponsor, which is the Relic Room. They have a prize that they're giving, which is going to be for the riddle that I'm going to read you. And that is a woolly rhino, which is an Ice Age rhino.
Sure.
And it's a really nice tooth from a woolly rhino. So it's about anywhere between like 100 and like 1.1 million. It could be years old, but it's a beautiful specimen. And I'll put it in a nice display and stuff. So that's going to be for the riddle I'm going to read you. And then the really exciting one, I mean, that's exciting enough, but we're going to do, we've never done before, a year-end riddle, a year-end prize. So there's no riddle for it. So if you've entered a correct answer in any of our other previous riddles, even though you didn't win, or if you did win, you'll be in it too. I'm going to enter all those people who put their entries in with the right answers, and we're going to pick one winner on New Year's Eve, and that's going to be for the year's grand prize, which is an Oreodont, which is a prehistoric mammal, and this is a skull from an Oreodont. It's moving around on me, so you can't see it.
It's cool. Kind of looks like the skull I'm sending you.
Piece. Look at that. That's a really nice piece.
That's cool.
All right. So that's going to be for the one grand prize winner. And again, this is all from the Relic Room, and they have really nice stuff, and they ship all over the country at really good prices. So there'll be a link. You can check them out and see if there's any stuff that you like. All right. So let me read you the riddle. This is going to be the new riddle. And what we'll do
And
is
by the way,
run...
can people submit more than one answer to the riddle? Because I feel like
absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like they should be able to. Like, you could submit as many answers as
many times as you want. Right, because all it does is it looks for the right answer, and then it puts them into the pool for selecting the winner at the end. Mm-hmm. So what we'll do is let's run this riddle right to the end of the year. It'll give everybody a little under 2 months to work on it, and we'll do our grand prize and our prize for this at the end of the year together. Then, okay. All right. So this will be printed, so everybody can read it too. But I'm going to start here. Okay. The mere mention of its name forms a pit in my bowels. An unknown within an unknown, frustrated always by the shallows. Most recent an endeavor, fueled by brotherly love, but dig away and scatter, giving time a shove. And you realize you have no idea when this treasure was left behind. A scallywag in order, a tree not a pine. A riddle within an enigma, a solution we may never find. Lifetime after lifetime, an astigmatic rhyme. So that's it.
Bro, you're good at that.
Put it in AI.
Did you use AI to write that?
Never.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that.
Never do that. But that's good. Like that's good. You're good at that, bro. Like,
yeah, thanks.
That's one of your things, bro. Like,
it comes to me in the shower usually.
Really? That's crazy. Things come to me in the shower too, but There you go.
I back it. So I pick what I want to do as the answer, and then I back the riddle into it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
All right, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, it's cool. I'm
All
never
right,
going to
so
guess
cool.
that one. I'm never going to
Yes,
guess
you
that
will.
one, but maybe. I have a few ideas.
I think if you look
I'm
at it
gonna-
in front of you, I think you will.
written down. If I look at it written down,
Yeah,
I
I think
might.
if you're able to look at it in front of you, I think you might get it.
There you go. Look at it.
Okay, well, that was a lot to absorb over one show. Tony will work his magic, edit it down, and cut a lot of my rambling out and make a show out of it. But for now, that gives you some things to think about, a riddle to try and solve, and some. If you have any ideas for shows, drop them in the comments. If you have any discussion talking points regarding Three Eye Atlas or any of these things that have happened, are happening now, or have happened in the past, looking at comments, anything like that, feel free to drop a comment there. We're always interested in, different POVs, is all I'm saying. And for now, we are going to let Tony work his magic and on hiatus. When we come back, it'll be me, Bill, and Tony again. What will be our next show?
Vampires, right? Bloodsuckers?
Vampires. I'm down with vampires. Let's go back to Transylvania.
Absolutely.
For now, God bless everybody. Have a beautiful and blessed week, or however long it takes for us to get between this show and the next one. God bless you all. Okay, you're right. That's a subtle ball bust right there. God bless you. God bless you. No, I'm just busting balls. God bless you. Have a great week, and see you next time on Dragonstorms, Ancient Myths, Legends, and Lore. Check out Tony's book, by the way, Dragonstorm.
And Gunners.
Make sure and mine, To Be a King, Volume 1 and 2. And Bill's book, Volume 2 of To Be a King audiobook, narrated by Bill. So make sure you check it out.
That's true. I narrated it. Yeah.
Yeah, narrated.
Awesome.
All right.